So the other day I was talking to some friends recently about movies, and when I said that I liked Black Panther to one of them, they said how surprised they were considering that I tend to be really picky and hard to impress when it comes to movies. Really, it's not that hard for a movie to get a positive reaction out of me. Have a coherent story that grabs my attention for the entire runtime, have characters, preferably with something going on so that I care about what's going on in the movie, have those characters portrayed by people who know how to act, have a script that sounds natural and is written competently, and have it look visually competent. If your movie's a comedy, then there's a heavier emphasis on the script and how natural it has to, sound. And of course, how well the dialogue has to be delivered. If your movie's an action movie, then of course there's heavier emphasis on the characters and the action itself. If I can make out what's going on, if I give a shit about what's happening, if it looks realistic, then you're fine. Just do all these things and you'll get at least a decent score. Of course, the more effort that is put into any of these elements, the higher the score will be. It's that simple. Plus, I can have fun with popcorn flicks like the Fast and Furious movies, the Final Destination movies, and also this little independent movie called Pacific Rim. Pacific Rim is one of the best examples of a popcorn flick done just right. It doesn't use what it is, a loud and explosive sci-fi action movie, as an excuse to sell the audience short on anything. The story is very simple yet effective. There's our world. Then, beneath it, there's a world of monsters. They start attacking and we fight back by building robots. Simple as that. However, the movie tries to add just a little bit more meat to it. Treat the events in the same manner that the real world would treat it. Give us a look, even if it is a small one, into the world of the monsters. All of these little things add to the story and it makes it feel a lot less flat, which is also helped by the tone. This is a film that, at least compared to the sequel, takes itself seriously, but it also has its moments of levity and its smaller, quirky moments. The characters in this movie are given just the right amount of development and arcs for you to care about when they're in peril or for you to feel bad when shit hits the fan. Each one of them has something they want to achieve. Raleigh wants to avenge his brother's death. Mako wants to prove to Idris Elba that she's a more than capable pilot. Idris Elba wants to cement his legacy as an outstanding general and commander, and these two scientists want to prove their worth in the resistance as we see in the subplot. None of these arcs clash and they all flow together naturally and are performed fantastically by the entire cast. Finally, the visuals definitely need to be up to par, especially when it comes to the action. You don't necessarily have to see everything when a fight in the city is going on, but you have to see at least something. If it's just a whole bunch of rubble and shit flying around, it will just get annoying. However, it shouldn't be where there's no debris or anything flying around or the scene can look empty. Thankfully, they knew this, and the fights in here are all great, especially the one that happens towards the end of the second act. The robots and monsters aren't quick in their movements, but when a kaiju or a Jaeger gets hit, you feel the impact. They created these fights with a scary accurate idea of how the physics behind it would work, and it helps to also shield you from some of the weaker effects in the movie. Plus, they also made sure to just put some shit in here that's fun, like a three-headed robot with chainsaws for hands, or the moment where like they grab the fucking shipping barge and just use like a baseball bat, like or when they use the giant ass arm rocket and just went shoo, and it landed right in the monster, or when the robot at the beginning was just like, hey guys, editor's note, looking back on that, the joke that I was supposed to be here was not very funny. I feel bad for it. Don't have to know what it is. We'll never know what it is. Back to the video. Like, the scripts, I mean, I'll say that while I can't really call the script that good, it's fine. There are just a lot of oddly delivered and written lines.
In 5 minutes, you're gonna be inside my head. You look good.
Odd transitions in both the text and editing. However, stacked against everything else in this movie, it doesn't do all that much to hurt it. If for whatever reason you haven't seen this little gem, I highly recommend it. It's not trying to be the next Donnie Darko or Birdman. Pacific Rim is just a rare film that tries to entertain you without selling you short and making you feel like an asshole. Take notes. So of course a sequel was made, and at the time I wasn't really looking forward to it, mainly because I hadn't watched the first one yet. Plus, even when the first movie came out, I thought it looked stupid. Yeah, I thought Pacific Rim looked stupid, but Transformers 4 looked great.
Age of Extinction is the worst movie I have ever seen.
people change. After watching this movie, who knows, maybe I might enjoy the sequel. After all, when was the last time a sequel ever I can't even finish the sentence.